watching him die that way is just one of those things that proves that this war has casualties on a personal level. And there's only so much that can be done in terms of, protecting the young ones or protecting the people that are closest to you from what's to come. As he comes up, I was just thinking, he's a sitting duck at this point, and then immediately as I'm thinking that, he gets just bolted, these crossbows, it's wild. He takes one to the back, one to the chest, and then one to the neck.
This on one person. One person is responsible.
Viserys making bad decisions.
I mean Viserys, of course, but Rhaena pulling up to a battle with an untrained dragon.
Yeah.
Hello, and welcome back to the days when dragons danced and men were as dust under their feet. My name is Ebube, and you are listening to Popcorn for Dinner. It is finally June 21st, 2026. A long-awaited day, which means we have finally seen the premiere of House of the Dragon Season 3. A much-anticipated return with quite a lot riding on it. The House of the Dragon cannot stand if it is divided, or at least that's what Viserys said in Season 1 as he made a final plea to his family to actually be a family. I can't really say they exactly granted his request. In fact, I can very much confirm that we are here today precisely because they did not. With the show's third season underway, we are well past planting seeds, and there is no such thing as negotiation. Words do not work anymore, people. All that is left is fire and blood. And considering the end of this episode, Rhaenyra Targaryen seeks nothing else. So, because I would never go to the Gullet alone, being a smart and reasonable person, I have Afam and Soonen here with me. And we have taken on the simple but important task of breaking down everything we've just seen, pointing out both Easter eggs from the show and insights from the book it's based on. So, gentlemen, was this really a victory? What is victory? What is truth? What is anything?
It's a sour victory. Very sour victory. So, what's the word I'm looking for? Pyrrhic victory.
I mean, our enemies seem to be vanquished, but somehow I don't feel all that good, man.
Remember, this guy over here is a green supporter.
Let's get it.
Guy.
Oh my God.
Good job, guys. Good job.
Speaking of which, I was
I've
actually
also forgotten. I have switched allegiance to the greens.
I was talking
Green
to
is the
Uncle
color of
yesterday,
nature.
and I was like,
Green is the color of envy.
Green is the color of envy. I was telling Uncle, hey, maybe at some point we'll have you on to discuss what it feels like to be a loser since your precious greens are down. And he's like, what do you mean by precious greens? I'm like, bro. We have you on HD here saying that the greens are the winning
camera.
We got you on camera, bro. So
Candid.
let all green supporters be put on notice because Rhaenyra is coming for everyone. And even if Rhaenyra is not coming for everyone, I think Daemon is. It's interesting to see Daemon, focused. Is that kind of a departure from season 2?
All I'll say is that Rhaenyra has how many kids? 5 kids. How many are still alive? How many kids does Alicent have? How many are still alive? I'm just saying.
This is insane coming from the murderers.
Can I count Aegon as being alive at this point?
No, this is insane coming from the child killers, but no problem. No problem. Yeah, this season has been interesting so far. This episode set an interesting tone because they made the decision of starting exactly where they left off. They just continue, right? And that sort of confirms to me some of the stuff that I was saying when we discussed the finale of season 2, which is that it was a good episode in itself, but did not feel like a finale. It felt to me like episode 8 of a 10-episode season. And I maintain to this day that that's what that was. Because this was clearly supposed to be, the finale of the season. This is supposed to be, this, I'm pretty sure in the perfect world, this is how season 2 would have ended, with the death of Jace. But now we're getting it right at the beginning. And, I love that for Harry Colette. Let the man work. So, so yeah,
Oh, it's
Jacaerys
not working
Velaryon.
much anymore, that's for sure.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll see him in some kind of flashback, or maybe somebody's going to have visions. I don't know. You know how the show likes to operate. People having
That's
visions here and
true.
there. I mean, Paddy Considine did season 1. We thought, man, we'll just see him again. He did season 1, and then in season 2, it's just like, yeah, we can't get enough of this guy. So
Haunting the narrative.
exactly. So I feel like now with season 3, the main points of continuation for them were, okay, Alicent getting back to King's Landing. What happens, right? Aegon and Larys, what's up with them? And of course, Rhaena rocking up to the ship stealer as if she's the one writing the story. And I guess there's so many details we can get into on this. But yeah, like it's just it's a little weird to me because the story is changing a lot of things through her that we can only really discuss bit by bit. But as far as the actual meeting between her and Sheep Stealer, I have to say it happened hella fast, because it's like, I mean, yeah, I do like them continuing right where they left off. And, they rehash certain beats and everything. But the first question I feel we need to ask is, she was supposed to be the caretaker of 2 young princes heading for Pentos. Is no one looking for her? Like, literally, she just...
It go be.
So whoever is carrying those boys to Pentos, they just say, oh yeah, we'll just put them on the boat. And yeah, to heck with Rhaena. Which kind of confirms everything she believed people thought about her, which is sad. But on a more meta level, it's like, bro, like, genuinely, did they leave Rhaena here? And if they did, like, are the boys successfully on their way to Pentos?
It brings up the question too, like, if she's missing, she is a very, very high profile member of the royal family.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me that would not have already been reported to Rhaenyra.
Exactly. Like, it just doesn't.
Maybe they don't know she's missing. Because she's a green. We talked like offline yesterday. She swapped sides. So she said, fuck those kids and fuck the gullet. I'm gonna switch sides.
The timing of it is not even like, is it adding up much? Like,
yeah, but it was a throwback to like the future, because Dany never rode Drogon with saddles. She was just raw dogging those dragons, and she was out here riding the dragon with no saddle, nothing, just holding on to spikes on his back for dear life. So that was
which is fully insane. Like, even going down the road, you need seatbelts. This one is here, like, just holding on to scales. You're flying up and down. Like, what do you mean? If anything is accurate in this episode, is the way she was screaming.
Oh my god, she can yell and open her eyes. Those are her 2 superpowers. Because she has big ass eyeballs, always like this.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. It's actually kind of wild.
Shout out to the actress, man. The screams, acting screams isn't easy, and the screams are very realistic. I think what I struggle with Rhaena and Sheep Stealer is mainly being how quickly she was able to form a bond with a so-called wild dragon, you know, which, for the sake of the narrative, they probably cut that down a little bit. Yeah. I don't know if we can talk about, how that claiming may have happened in the books.
I think on some level, over the course of the season, we can discuss, the quote-unquote hunt for Vhagar, and how that entire plot line is a thing that, the show is sort of breaking up into pieces and in some ways skipping altogether. But with Rhaena, they are merging 2 storylines in a way. So then could you kind of elaborate on that?
Yeah, so they're merging 2 storylines, Rhaena Targaryen, as well as a character in the book that's known as Nettles. Nettles is the character that actually gets Sheep Stealer. In the book, she's described as just a common born girl unlike the other dragon seeds, she goes out herself to try and find Sheep Stealer and then entices him to bond with her by presenting him with a bunch of sheep, which, of course, but that happens over a longer period of time, unlike this. And certain other things happen that I'm curious to see how they will incorporate going forward.
Yeah, especially considering the relationship that Nettles has with Daemon.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm confused about.
Yeah,
So
but
I
like, if
mean,
we've
but
learned
now that we know
anything from the
incest
episode,
plus is it?
incest plus is a thing. So
Okay, relax.
parents and siblings, come on, man. What difference does it make?
Parents and children, apparently.
I
There's a
think that's
Targaryen.
probably a part of the Nettles storyline that they will be skipping altogether, because I don't really know how they would make that work.
Will they?
Even
Will
logistically.
Will they? Will they?
No, they have to. It's done. It's done.
Yeah, I
Let's
don't
move
think
on.
We see how Aemond is moving with his mom.
Incest promise. Oh my goodness, bro.
My hand was over my like this the whole time, just watching it, being like, no way this is happening. No way this is happening.
But why is he doing that though? Like, why? What is with that? What is with Aemond? Like, I mean, I know
there's
Aemond has
incels.
problems, but
there are incels and then there's femcells, family incels who are incels because of their family, because they want their moms.
So with that scene, I think if you recall from either season 1 maybe or season 2, basically he hires a sex worker that's very maternal looking.
yeah,
Sure.
he has serious mommy issues. We know this.
Exactly. So, that's kind of the
justification.
Mommy, not the
justification,
justification,
just explanation.
Just the explanation. Because if you think about it, right, like he was forced to be with an adult by his brother, like in the brothel, and like at that point you're still growing up. Your only real close female connection is your mother, so it must have gone all jumbled in his head,
Yeah, especially because his sister was already taken, so it makes sense.
Yeah,
his sister was taken by his brother.
Low-key, he liked his sister. But
talk about
anyway.
a messed up family, man.
Yeah, it's wild. And it's even continuing on the Rhaenyra points, it's like her ending up stranded on some random rock above the clouds was crazy. Like, I was like, okay, you think that you're controlling this wild dragon now, you're not. The dragon dumped you. At least that's what I thought. I thought that was the crazy part until I saw her eating flambéed mutton from the mouth of the literal dragon. And I was like, okay, now I have seen everything.
Man. She got in there.
She was
I was
hungry,
like,
bro. That was sweet though. He said, one for me, one for you. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
that's a little
very
insane.
Sheep Stealer is so kind.
Dragon. Honestly.
But actually,
Sheep Stealer is misunderstood.
Since we're on the topic of Aemond, actually, I feel like it's only fair to talk about how much of an idiot he is. He's foolhardy and it is embarrassing, okay? You think you're the prince, you're now styling yourself the king. Meanwhile, you're pulling people out of their beds to say, oh, you're a traitor to the crown, I sentence you to die. Like, that's embarrassing, bro. Get a grip. Quite literally, like literally when I saw that, all I was thinking was, get a grip, you're embarrassing yourself.
Orwell has suffered the most, man.
Yo, like that's racist as fuck. I'm not gonna lie.
No, literally, it's like,
yeah,
bro,
man.
You didn't go to Jasper Wild first. Like, Jasper Wild was an actual issue. I mean, I feel like, first of all, he has gallows just prepared in the courtyard in the middle of the night. That's already sus.
Just in case.
But he's ready.
Aemond, we know that he has something to prove, right? He has this desire to show that he is more capable than Aegon. Because while he's fighting on the side of Team Green, he's now really fighting on the side of Team Aemond. Because it's gone past proving that Rhaenyra is incapable or unworthy, it has now turned into also proving that Aegon is incapable and unworthy. So, in a sense, everybody is kind of doing the Rhaenyra versus Aegon fight, and Aemond is like, it's me versus everyone. How do you guys think that's going to turn out for him as far as the show is concerned?
He has Vhagar, so he can do anything he wants.
Sure,
that's
but
his logic.
He knows. I mean, one of my favorite lines in the episode is actually the moment where Helaena says, after he claimed Vhagar, he forgot what fear was, but he remembers now. And that is fantastic. Like she said, he knows that if he has to face Rhaenyra's dragons, he'll die. And Vhagar is, as Barclay once said, a cheat code. But Vhagar cannot take 3 dragons at the same time. Like, I just don't see that happening.
Yeah. It depends on the 3.
What am I saying? It depends on the 3 dragons, but still, there's just so many different configurations you come up with. Like, if you get Caraxes, Daemon's dragon, you get Vermithor, Hugh's dragon.
Well, there is one less dragon. Just saying.
Well, that Jace. Dragon never stood a chance against Vhagar, and wow, that was a very sad thing. I mean, we'll talk about that in detail and how they executed that in a little bit. But as far as Vhagar is concerned, like, if you get Caraxes, if you get Vermithor, if you maybe even get Silverwing, Ulf's dragon, those 3 together, I don't really see Vhagar really surviving it. I mean, Milly's put up quite a fight.
But
speaking of Team Green, there's Aegon and his little hike through the woods. Now,
why didn't he just kneel? I don't understand. Who cares?
Nah,
because
bro.
I find it interesting, actually.
Still a king, bro.
I like how that scene played out, because it's good for us to see 2 specific things that are shown there. Number 1, Aegon still has self-worth, despite everything he was just saying. He was like, I'm the king of nothing. I'm worthless. And then it's like, okay, kneel, denounce the usurper. And he's just like, I would rather die.
Yeah.
Like, this guy's body would not allow him to do it. And the second thing that is cool that they showed us, as far as I'm concerned, is the fact that Larys is a formidable negotiator. I think it's good for the show to make sure we know that. And I mean, even in his negotiation, right, he basically NRPI'd those people who were so graciously carrying them.
I know. Oh my God.
I said, who are those people who said no one of consequence? I was like,
no,
what?
I said Ra.
Just sacrifice them. World. What house was it whose bannermen stopped?
I was trying to figure out what sigil that was.
I'm not sure. I think Mallister.
But the Mallisters are more purple, right, with the wings in the Riverlands?
They are more purple, but it was tough to see because it looked like a blue. I wasn't sure if it was blue or purple. It was very faded on their stuff. But the Mallisters are the only ones that kind of have...
And it reminded me of Beesbury, but I wasn't sure if it was actually them.
Beesbury would have had the bees. No, it was kind of like an eagle almost.
Hard to say.
But yeah, Mallister is my closest guess. Mallister is my closest guess, yes.
Those guys, though, they clearly fight for Rhaenyra, and they're probably closer to the east of Westeros, because they wouldn't be too far from the Crownlands, right? And
yeah,
I feel like everything they were doing in that moment reeked of like, okay, we have instructions. But at the same time, it didn't quite look like they were following specific instructions. It looked more like they were just trying to be loyal, essentially. They have Rhaenyra's cause in mind, and they're trying to do whatever they can do to advance it. And, when I think about Rhaenyra's cause and, the way people are sort of embodying that for themselves, I think about Jace himself. And I think the initial focus on his perspective that the episode does when he has that first conversation with Rhaenyra in the episode about the risks of trusting Alicent, I do think that's very subtle foreshadowing. And, just endearment from the camera's perspective. I feel like it's showing us what's to come in a way, because it's like there's this through line in the episode of Jace feeling like he's being ignored and that there's nothing he can do. So I'm not really sure, if I'm not sure what other decisions they made, kind of production wise, to kind of highlight that, but it definitely felt that way to me, and I feel like a lot of small things were working in tandem to make that a very worthwhile thing. Knowing what's to come, either way, I felt the effect, and I found it interesting as well that he was trying to advise her, and she was just caressing his face like he's some sweet baby.
Yes, yes.
It's like Rhaenyra
that's
was doing
something
a
that
whole lot of not listening, right? Like no one believes what she's saying about what Alicent said is making sense, but she's just ignoring. She's just like rejoicing. It's like, sis, why are you like why are you rejoicing right now? Are you sure we're up?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think you understand why I swapped teams now, right? You see the vision?
Okay,
Come
let's
join me on the other
relax.
side.
Let's relax. You suffer.
I'm seeing the signs of a bad ruler. What can I say?
Wild.
And Aegon is better.
Aegon is misunderstood.
Yeah.
All right, let's go with
fried
that.
face. But go on.
You brought up something interesting with the relationship between Rhaenyra and Jacaerys, where he's the heir to the throne, and he feels like his opinion doesn't count for anything. Feels like his mom doesn't listen to him.
And you would think that's something Rhaenyra would do differently from her father, because I know she felt a little bit sidelined when she was coming up. But she's kind of doing the same thing.
Exactly. That's a great commentary on how we tend to perpetuate some of these things without realizing that we're doing it. Everyone messes up their kids, no matter their best intention, in some way or the other. But I think, that's that feeling that Jacaerys had of like, oh my, not only I feel ineffective in this conflict, even though he was responsible for bringing the Northern Bannermen into the war, which is huge.
Yeah.
He feels ineffective. He
probably
feels
his greatest
like
achievement.
Which,
no, to be honest,
from the larger, to put it in perspective, is huge for this conflict. But he doesn't see that. All he sees is, I can't, my mom isn't listening to me. She sees me as a child, and I want to prove myself as a man, as a warrior, as a dragon rider. And, he got a little too much dip on his chip. Well,
but is
it's not really his
wrong
fault.
for trusting Alicent?
What?
I mean,
you think Rhaenyra is wrong for trusting Alicent?
I think trusting Alicent should not be the natural decision that any reasonable person is making in this situation. Just because, there's been serious conflict. There's been a history of, just malice. There's been a history of bad faith. And then all of a sudden, it's like, I'm just going to give up my children.
Yeah, but there was something about the way I rewatched that last scene. I didn't rewatch the whole season, but I rewatched that last scene, and there was just in last episode, and there was just something about the way Alicent approached Rhaenyra that was in a stark contrast from how it was when Rhaenyra approached Alicent, that genuinely had me feeling like, no, she's serious here.
No, it was definitely sincere.
She's protecting the innocent.
Yeah,
which is her daughter and her grandchild.
I felt that it was definitely sincere. And obviously, Olivia Cook is amazing. So we felt the sincerity of that performance. There you go. But I think from the perspective of Rhaenyra, there is such a thing as confirmation bias. And this idea that somebody has just shown up at your doorstep, handing you everything you ever wanted, it's a nice thing. But I think Jace is not wrong in saying you need to be skeptical about that.
But you have to consider that Alicent did that at great risk to herself.
Yes, which is what Rhaenyra is saying.
Yeah, exactly. At extremely great risk. So I understand why she would, hope that Alicent is being legit. And if you also keep in mind, she also asked for the Velaryons to come through the Gullet as sort of a insurance policy too, in case, taking the city wasn't as easy as Alicent claimed.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
I don't think Rhaenyra was moving, definitely from her small council's perspective, she was moving crazy because like, whoa, what do you mean? Like, you're changing our entire war strategy in what looks like the course of an afternoon. But from her perspective, like her I think her thinking is sound. We just have to consider the fact that throughout this series, she's been getting undermined and also looked down upon for her strategy because she's a woman. And that's an additional thing to consider here in terms of in terms of how skeptical her small council and Jace were being.
True.
Yeah, that's true. And she's obviously looking for ways to kind of exert her own power, right? But the problem is you can't predict the unpredictable. And Aemond's change of plans is tragic, right? Because Alicent, you can just see in Alicent's face when she's talking to Aemond, she gets back and he's like, "Where have you been?" And she's like, "The Godswood," which is believable to some degree. You can go to the Godswood and spend days there, right? But
that's true.
But now, think about everything she just promised Rhaenyra. You can see in her face that she just knows that entire thing, like just the entire package she delivered has fallen apart. And you can see that she knows she'll be seen as a liar. So now Alicent is like, she's switched from, okay, I've resigned myself to everything that's about to happen, to this new state of, there's still work to be done. I need to make sure that this place is exactly as I promised when these people come here, or everyone is cooked. I'm cooked. Helaena is cooked. It's over, right? Because she said that Rhaenyra can come to the city, take the city, the gates will be open, they will surrender. She can kill Aegon, which again, insane. But
crazy.
She can kill Aegon, and then Helaena, Jacaerys, and herself will be allowed to flee. But now, there's a literal Hightower army on the way. Daeron and Tessarion are on the way. Vega is still around. There's no Aegon to be had. And the Triarchy is on the way. Like this is not what you promised.
It could not be worse.
It's literally, like, you can see just the panic on her face. It's just like, yeah. So, I mean, she spends basically the rest of the time trying to figure things out, which is why she spends so much time talking to Aemond, trying to convince him, to make a move and actually head to her.
No, he made a move. He made a move, all right.
He made the move. Incest plus.
Incest plus.
Dude, can we talk about this family tree now? Because this is like, okay, we knew the family tree was circular, but this is a Ouroboros, because the circle is going back to where it came from. So what the hell is going on with this goddamn family tree? But it does like point to something, because I just kept thinking about the relationship, the mother-son relationship between Rhaenyra and Jace and Alicent and Aemond, where I feel like, even though I am Team Green, the Blacks feel more like a family. Like, when Rhaenyra is disagreeing with Jace, it feels like a family argument, but with the Greens, it's scheming. Like, bro, I need you to go do this thing so you can die, just so that me and my daughter can get out of here. Like, I'm like, it's crazy. That's why I'm going to let you kiss me, my son. Ugh. Crazy.
And that's who you support. That's your team. That's your boys.
Hey, man,
that's your guys.
Misunderstood. Isn't that what you said? You said Aemond is misunderstood. I'm just following you.
I have never said that in my entire life.
Oh, you know what? Sometimes, you take the good with the bad.
Okay. Okay.
Incest plus supporter over here.
Hold on.
And actually, you know what? Speaking of Team Green, what do we think of Gwayne talking to Cole about the importance of principles?
Cole is depressed, bro.
Cole needs a hug. He needs Alicent's
Therapy.
favor.
Yeah, bro, Cole is
Yeah.
interesting, man. He's out there just painting his shield. It's like, yeah, we have all the time in the world. People are just
He's
bored.
the hand of the king, right?
He is the hand of the king.
Yeah.
Bro, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. But this
king.
should be all he should have been. All these things that he was doing in King's Landing was just like, no, bro, you're not politician. Go be out in the field and be doing whatever the fuck you're doing. Like, it's about here.
It's a very powerful force, man. This is what happens when you become an incel. You spite takes you to very
Dark corners.
very strange.
But he was different before Aemon got injured. Aegon got injured. I feel like after Aegon got injured, he just went on a full depression cycle, and like he just never gotten out of it.
He saw dragon battle for the first time. Do you know what it is to watch someone burn to death?
Yeah, not someone. People. A shit ton of people.
The only time I've seen is, sadly in Lagos after they caught somebody stealing. And
oh my gosh.
Wait, have you hold on. Have you actually seen one of those things happen live?
That is crazy. Yeah. That is crazy.
Are you okay?
I mean,
were you not like a child?
Is Kristen Cole okay?
No.
Oh wow. Okay.
Exactly.
Dang. I've never actually seen one of those things happen live, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thankfully I was there, towards the aftermath. But yeah, it was not a pretty sight.
And for anyone who has no idea what we're talking about, we will not explain it.
Yeah. If you know, you know, man.
If you know, you know. If you don't know,
if you don't know, good for you. Okay. I hope you never do.
Okay, but in terms of people kind of just waiting around, right, being depressed and whatnot, I feel like we should probably talk about the Dragonseeds, who are irritating.
Yes, and where they
are. I was watching that thing thinking, bro, do you think this is not a social club? You signed up for an army.
A waste.
Like, you guys are soldiers. What do you mean you don't like it in these woods? Are you crazy? If you don't stay
we knew Ulf the Whites was a waste man from the beginning. Start, man. Yeah,
Knights versus Lords.
Yeah, talking about I can't live in the title or drink it. Is this really
comedy?
Like, is that the extent of people's ambition?
Yes.
Even Adam.
Yes,
I wish
in the world of
Betatin.
In the world of Westeros, absolutely.
In the world of the earth, who know like Betatin?
Yeah, honestly, yeah. No one.
I thought they were supposed to be fighting for something greater.
No, like, but you want to suffer? I don't want to suffer.
Can we talk about where they were? So I believe they were on an island in the God's Eye. So
100%. I mean, we saw that green man.
Yes. Yes, exactly. So the island that they're on is called the Isle of Faces, and it's an island in the middle of the God's Eye, which is the lake that Harrenhal sits on. And the Isle of Faces is basically filled with a bunch of trees, like weirwood trees, with faces carved into them. And the Green Men, which is basically this order of weird men who have horns and dark skin and stuff like that, is who we saw at the end after Ulf had his little scare while he was pooping.
It's interesting how the show takes its time to remind us of the religious influences in Westeros, even in this time.
Absolutely.
Obviously, we've heard a lot about the influence of the Faith of the Seven in King's Landing. We know that the Faith of the Seven is a big thing for the Hightowers. I'm sure that's going to be something big going forward as well in the season. But the old gods that they worship in the north are still a thing, and this place, this Isle of Faces, is essentially the most potent ground that they have in Westeros south of the Neck. So the fact that these guys landed there and they don't even know it is very interesting to me. And it's not even just that they landed there with dragons who are from a completely different religion altogether.
Yeah.
So my issue with them is like, okay, reminisce or whatever, but you guys were told to essentially attack or pursue Vhagar. Like, you're just told to wait and ambush. The three of them together could have actually destroyed Vhagar, but now because they've left, Aemond is probably, I think we can agree at this point that he's going to do what Alicent is asking, right? So that means he's going to get there and essentially face no resistance, which is just insane.
That's unfortunate.
Like, you
but
guys
they did
just
show up
decided
at
to
the
get
end
up
of the
and go.
Battle of the Gullet to help.
Yeah, so I
right?
mean that's the next thing, right? I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, but in the source material, aren't Hugh and Ulf part of the Battle of the Gullet? Is this why? At first I wondered, like, is this why the show is kind of making them leave? But then they don't get there. They're not actually there.
I don't remember if they were there. No, but they showed up at the end.
They are in the books.
They are there, right?
A few of the Dragonseed were in the Battle of the Gullet. They did show up, yes. But yeah, in this, they weren't. Oh, also to add to the religious mysticism of it, the Isle of Faces is where the pact was first made between the children of the forest
and
the first men.
Yeah.
Yep. I am worried about Ulf. I mean, if I were
worried about him or worried because of him, because I consider him a liability.
Because of
okay,
he definitely a liability. But it's also interesting to see how their relationship is, the relationship of the Dragonseeds. Ulf is clearly just there doing his own thing. Hugh Hammer, I think, is trying to find a balance, whereas Adam of Hall or Adam Velaryon is all in. He's drank the royal Kool-Aid. He's ready to serve in any way possible. Hugh Hammer is kind of like in between where he's trying to navigate, but Ulf is just like, man, I'm here. I'm in it for the money and the women and the drinks and the drugs and the everything else that comes with it,
The knightshood and the lords.
There has to be more. There has to be more to life to aspire
because he has dragon.
Okay. Well, I guess putting aside those who are waging war in disguise for a second, let's talk about the guys on ground. Now, I didn't know we'd get to the point where in a Game of Thrones show we'd see people beheading a lion that has already been killed.
We're stopping that lion.
The vim, the energy.
He was already dead.
Stop.
That was insane. Like, and that just confirms what I was saying from the beginning. The brutality here that they're displaying is insane. Like, there's so much brutality that they're showing throughout the episode. And I think it's really just letting us know that this time of war is here. Like, it's here to stay. Like, we get to this battlefield where, like I said, the lion is being beheaded. Daemon basically walks out of fire holding Valyrian steel. Like, that was an excellent decision as far as cinematography is concerned. I will not believe that was an accident. So whoever you are, I'm gonna shout you out. So, and also go Oscar Tully. Like, go Oscar Tully.
I know.
When I was like, this guy is still here doing his thing. And
still here doing his thing, man. He's still here doing his thing.
Yeah, it's nice.
But, also opposing Daemon as well, because Daemon, as usual, is very callous and is like, let's just burn all these dead people. And Oscar Tully is like, nah, we don't do that. We bury them. That is the Riverman way. Which shows the way Daemon even looks.
He has this look on his face like, oh, brother.
Like, this guy again with his dragon.
But he needs to be careful with that, though. He needs to be careful not to antagonize these river people too much, because
that's really it. Because I mean, they're on your side right now, but if anybody can switch,
Yeah, I mean, and also, of course, there's foreshadowing with just things that we think might happen in terms of places that are significant, right? Trying to be as vague as possible with Daemon essentially saying,
please,
straight to the God's Eye, we'll continue the fight there. And I was like, okay, tick, tick, tick. But
Tick, tick, tick.
But I mean, there is a bit of emphasis on the God's Eye, and clearly, I feel like that's because that's so close to Harrenhal. And we see that these guys, the Dragonseeds, were also there. Like it's just. I think the show is suddenly pointing us towards that place being a little bit significant as far as Harrenhal is concerned, because people are still looking for Harrenhal. People want Harrenhal. They want access to it as a garrison. But I think obviously the most significant thing that happens there on this specific battlefield is the arrival of the Northern Greybeards, led
Stark's killing
by
Lannisters again.
Tommy Flanagan's character.
Stark's killing Lannisters. What a beautiful
If there's anything the
sound.
Starks love to do, I guess is that. And also the fact that Jason has been murked.
Yeah. Off screen.
Like,
off screen, bro.
Jefferson Hall gets to play just one role now, or so I thought.
We don't know. We don't know.
I guess we don't know, but man, like this guy was going through it in this episode. Every role he was playing. I mean, I guess. What do we think though about the Green strategy here? Because they're definitely losing on a number of sides. Like obviously this was a terrible episode for the Blacks in terms of their losses, but they ended up getting victories as far as their strategies are concerned. Whereas the Greens, you have Cole and his guys essentially stranded, waiting for a dragon that is not coming. We have the Lannisters getting destroyed. We have, in addition to that, I guess, Alicent kind of losing her way. We have, I suppose we have one group of people that's doing kind of okay. And, that is the Hightower 15,000 man army. And my first thought actually when I saw Ormond and his men was, is Darren a redhead? No way. There's no way.
No, there's no way that's not him.
He is.
He's not. He's not.
Him.
He's not. That's not him. He's blonde.
I really feel like that's him.
I think
he's not a redhead.
In the books, he's not a redhead.
He's not a redhead.
Why wouldn't he be a redhead?
Because
he's
all his other siblings aren't.
I have his picture in my head from the books. Unless they're changing things,
I think in the books he's not. But I just have this strong feeling. I mean, because obviously we see that character. Okay, first of all, right, my brain it pivoted from is this kid a redhead? No way, to I think I'm gonna like these guys. And that was mainly after I heard that Bull John guy, talking, and he was like, obviously Ormond is low-key a madman. I just have this feeling that he's going to be one of those eccentric characters to watch. And of course, I love that Bull John is played by the same guy who plays Brasso, and I'm sure everybody who enjoyed Andor loves that
from
too.
Andor.
Yeah, so that's a cool thing to
Andor,
see.
man.
But thinking about the whole Daron thing, I like that the show is kind of keeping those cards close to his chest. It's like,
I don't like it.
I think it's interesting though, because they're showing us Tessarion, and I guess they just don't. They've been mentioning Daron. They didn't mention Daron at all in season 1. They mentioned him in season 2, and then by the end of season 2, we saw his dragon. And now we're at the beginning of season 3. We're seeing the dragon again. We know that we're going to meet him at some point. We know he's there. It's like the show's way of telling us, "Don't worry, he's coming, and he exists." Right? So we get to this point where Ormond and his guys are, taking this messenger, and we see everybody except, someone with pale hair. And that's who I think the show knows the audience is looking for. And Daron very, very well could have pale hair. We don't know how they've cast his character yet. But there's something there's just something about that kid, the way he carries himself, the way he has that royalty. Like he feels like, kind of like a head steward. The kind of person that's like very close to power, not by accident, like the way they had Jon Snow kind of being the steward of Jon Mormont. And I don't know, he just does, I don't know how to explain it, but he doesn't seem common, if that makes any sense.
It's aura.
Yeah, I guess he just has aura, but I guess it will be revealed. It's quite possible that Daron is going to be somebody with pale hair instead, but I just feel like...
Are we taking bets?
I mean, okay. I guess if we were, my money is
Let's
on.
not promote gambling, guys.
And now a message from our sponsor.
Never. Not on this show.
Hey man, if they come calling with that bag, bro.
We are not Chopin. So yeah. I don't even understand all that stuff. Like, don't even get me started on how everything is sponsored by online gambling now. Like, I literally cannot comprehend it, but it is what it is.
All right, we're not gambling, man. We're not gambling.
I hope you never have to, man. Gambling is a black hole. But I think my issue with them not focusing on Daron enough yet is because he's a pretty significant character.
Mm-hmm.
My concern is that we won't get enough time to really get to know his character if they keep putting him off further and further and further.
See, I like the fact that they're putting him further and further and further. It's getting us more to like see how the children that Alicent raised are idiots, and then Helena knows no fault. But then we're gonna see
contrast.
Yeah, exactly. And then all of a sudden be like, wait. Well, okay. No, we know that he's like decent because Alicent's brother, I forget his name, told her that he's a kind person.
Gwayne.
Gwayne. Yeah. So I just like I do like this approach because it almost was like, oh, Alicent has 3 kids. Oh wait, there's a 4th, and I do feel a little bit of anticipation building, and they're dropping hints. We saw the dragon last season very briefly. Now we see his dragon in full form. Now we see a kid who we all instinctively were like, oh, is that him? But like I think he's blonde just because I remember in the books like Alicent's kids being very Targaryen and Rhaenyra's kids being not Targaryen, like the 3 strong kids.
Mm-hmm.
But I could be wrong. Who knows? Maybe he's a redhead.
That is true. I mean, it would be a boon to Alicent. Like, it would mean that he takes after his mother, and I think that kid kind of, I don't know, he reminded me of her in terms of the casting anyway, but I guess we'll just have to see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Meanwhile, Alicent is obviously fighting to uphold her agenda. So, yeah. Olivia Cook's acting, like I said, is top tier. And
amazing. Standout performance this episode for me.
Yeah, it's really good. Like, I mean, that conversation with Aemond, like, after that kiss, like, the way the tear immediately falls down her face, I was like, yo.
Cinema.
I reached to cry.
It was cinema. I was like, what is going on, bro? How can she be this good?
Cry.
Yeah, she's kind of amazing. I can't even lie. But yeah, I suppose we can no longer put off discussing the big battle.
Before we do, the drip of the white cloaks, this is like my favorite period. I remember I think because we had just watched the Night of the Seven Kingdoms.
Armor?
This is my favorite Kingsguard armor. The Night of the Seven Kingdom I thought was my best. But this one, I don't know, man. The drip on this one was just, I just like it. And
I think the Night of the Seven Kingdoms, they were really pushing the whole, like, white cloak, knight in shining armor thing.
But this one just feels more like rugged. I don't know, something about it.
This one is interesting because they're focused more on adhering to it being silver, which I find very interesting.
Because of the Targaryen, influence still being what it is.
Okay, so the Battle of the Gullet. This was maybe peak set piece creation in a Game of Thrones show. Like, I think at
is this
point,
the first naval battle we've seen?
This is the first real naval battle we've seen. Yes. Like,
Blackwater.
No, I mean, like, the first real like battle in terms of like they were actually doing real fighting on like on the seas. Because with Blackwater,
fair enough.
What's Blackwater? They were on the sea, then their ships got blown up, but they spent most of their time trying to get into King's Landing
to the land
and to the Red Keep, which, that kind of makes sense. But with this, we got all of this stuff, and we got it in broad daylight. Like, they were really, like, they were not holding back. And
not at all.
As far as, I mean, I think it's widely said, in the quote unquote history books of Westeros that this battle is easily the most violent naval battle, like maybe so one of the most violent and devastating battles ever in the world of the show. And the casualties were immense. The losses were, I mean, just to each side were really significant, especially in terms of, Jace. Like, we lost ships, we lost people in the fleet. Corlys lost his castle, but losing the heir, Rhaenyra's heir, is a big blow. It's a really, really, really big blow. I just feel like watching him die that way is just one of those things that proves that this war has casualties on a personal level, and there's only so much that can be done in terms of, protecting the young ones or protecting the people that are closest to you from what's to come. Because Jace wanted power, he wanted to prove himself, he wanted to assert himself, and we look at how he got here, right? He got to this point by essentially defying his mother. He takes matters into his own hands, and he first loses his dragon. And like, watching Vermax die, like, was also kind of wild. Like, the show really made that work visually. And then as he comes up, I was just thinking, like, he's a sitting duck at this point, and then immediately, as I'm thinking that, he gets like just bolted, like these crossbows. Like, it's wild. Like, he takes one to the back, one to the chest, and then one to the neck.
This on one person. One person is responsible.
Viserys making bad decisions.
I mean Viserys, of course, but Rhaena pulling up to a battle with an untrained dragon.
It's ridiculous. Crazy. I know she wanted to help and everything, but and this is why I said I wanted to talk about some of those differences between how they handled the whole Rhaena thing with and what Nettles would have been, because now the show is really sticking to this idea of Rhaena having Sheep Stealer, and it's not something that we can really go back on now, right? Because we are now living in a world where that has directly affected the story. Like, Rhaena's handling of Sheep Stealer in lieu of the story introducing Nettles as a character has directly affected the plot in a serious way. So what do we think this bodes for the show now as far as adaptation is concerned?
As far as adaptation is concerned,
because now she's responsible for Jace's death.
Yes, which explains certain things that will come up between relationships with people in the show. Her being responsible for Jace's death. Keep in mind, as of yet, no one knows that she was responsible.
Yeah.
The only person who knew is
saw
dead.
a dragon, but Bella didn't. Jace was the only one that saw that it was Rhaena on the dragon.
Exactly.
And as he did, he was taken out of the sky. But it's really just such a tragedy, honestly. Like,
it was really heartbreaking to watch. I can't even lie.
If she had just not gone,
like, they executed it quite well.
It was amazing. Like, literally watching Sheep Stealer, the bigger dragon, chase down the two smaller dragons. I'm like, yo.
It's like as if we don't have enough problems. Now we have to worry about the actual dragons on our side fighting for their lives.
The dragon. It's like when you're I've never been in a fight, but imagine if you're in a fight and there's a lot of people and you're getting beat up on, which is Sheep Stealer, and then somebody hits you and you just grab one person and just start swinging wildly into the crowd.
That's typically how
what Sheep Stealer said. He was just like, I don't know, somebody hit me, so everyone dies.
Everybody
and then when I get
in,
hurt, I'm leaving.
Rhaena is like, you're speaking Valyrian to this dragon. This is a wild dragon.
Like, this, that's actually so interesting. That's an amazing point. Because I think on some level, the dragons naturally understand that language, but they don't understand certain things and certain cues that would come from the conditioning that is included in training.
Exactly.
Sheep Stealer doesn't know any dragon
the other two dragons. The other two dragons were very responsive to commands. Go help, fire, fly up. I know they were responding so well. It's crazy. Knowing who to attack.
The way they fly, they flew so tightly. Whereas Sheep Stealer was just
Moondance and Vermax had serious moves. Like, I can't even lie. just the
Yeah,
maneuvering in the sky.
dude.
Meanwhile, Sheepstealer is just kind of clumsy, you know?
Literally.
Yes.
And
No grace.
no, I feel like with Sheepstealer being so clumsy, you get not just that sense of difference, but also the fact that Rhaena really is not in control of the situation whatsoever.
Nope.
But at the same time,
whatsoever.
this wasn't arrogance that brought her here. It wasn't hubris. It was just maybe just
I think
stupidity.
there's a little bit of arrogance and hubris in there, bro.
Like, I finally got a dragon. Let me join.
Yes, exactly. Because that we know that from the narrative, that was a big part of her self identity.
Yeah, she's always wanted a dragon. It's literally the only thing she's ever talked about.
Exactly. That's literally her whole character. And now she finally gets one and she's like, yeah, I can be someone in this family too. I can go help. But yeah, the only help she brought was destruction and death.
Literally. The irony. And it's just so fulfilling because she's the one who didn't have a dragon. And then she gets a dragon, just to be like, oh, I have a dragon. And then now she just makes things worse. So just like, stop trying to live up to your parents, whatever, and just be yourself, man. Where are the kids you're supposed to be watching? You just abandon them.
Because Rhaenyra is going to try and hunt her down, right?
No, but again, nobody knows. Nobody knows it was her. Nobody knows she's not with the kids.
Her.
I don't know.
But they're going to be hunting Sheepstealer. They know Sheepstealer.
Oh yeah, they have to.
They know. They know Sheepstealer. They're going to be hunting Sheepstealer. Yes.
Yeah.
And they know Sheepstealer has a rider. And they're going to be
know that
hunting
Sheepstealer is generally in the Vale. So I mean, are they going to send people there? Like to send
can they afford to send people there? Can they? Can they afford to send? Because you can't send one dragon. You have to send two. So which two dragons do you send?
Orphan,
because you still have
Vermithor and Silverwing.
If those two are gone, can the remaining dragons take Vhagar? I don't know about that. Caraxes, yes, but maybe Caraxes and who?
The many dragons, Caraxes, Sea Smoke, and
Sea Smoke, yeah, and Cyrax
and Dancer. No, because I mean, if I was Rhaenyra, I wouldn't go to battle. But Caraxes, Sea Smoke, and Moon Dancer.
But Moon Dancer will get chomped in the first bite.
Someone will have to be the bait.
Yeah, but okay, Loki, Jace. My theory is that Jace dying proves his point because if Rhaenyra had gone, she would have died.
100%.
And then if she's dead,
she would have died. I really do think she would have died.
Yeah, sure.
So she has more. I mean, and you can't even say she has more battle experience because she doesn't. She doesn't really have more battle experience.
She doesn't have,
but she maybe has better control of her dragon.
Neither did Jace. Yeah. Neither did Jace.
But Jace was doing so well
until Rhaena
came to the water. That's the issue.
Well, he wasn't doing too well though because remember they had already gotten him with the hook the first time.
Yeah, because he flew too close to the water, and that was the issue. But I guess they didn't anticipate that these guys would have had scorpions. And these were very, they were specially designed scorpions too, but they should have anticipated that.
Because they fought Daemon in the battle.
Exactly, they fought Daemon. So these guys, they created those things because they are used to fighting Daemon. They're used to fighting Lenor as well. So they understand what it's like to have dragons on the other side. So obviously they're going to adjust. It's like the Flaxons in Invincible. Every time they come back with something new.
So it just goes back to, hubris. Honestly, I think they didn't even need the dragons, honestly.
No, they did. They were outnumbered. They were severely outnumbered. Actually, and this is the thing, they were outnumbered, but pride. The only reason why they didn't destroy them, even with or without dragon, was because what's her name was just so bent on revenge that she abandoned the plan just to kill the guy, Lohar, and ended up dying for it. There's just so many lessons here. I'm just like, I'm not gonna apply this to my life because
plan.
Yeah, pride. Yeah,
it was a stupid plan. Oh, the idea to sack what's his face Hightide was a good idea.
Plan. I'm not even gonna lie. It annoyed me, but that was a good plan.
Everything else was stupid.
But then you found out that plan came from a place of just spite and not strategy.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
and
I think there was a little bit of strategy there because you also have to consider who the sea snake is, right? Jacaerys Velaryon. He's someone that basically single-handedly brought his family out of irrelevance to become one of the richest families in Westeros. He's basically almost a self-made man.
He's the richest. I believe the Velaryons are the richest house, and then it's the Hightowers.
Yeah.
Yes, Velaryons.
So funny, Lannisters are not even up right now.
No, they're not even up. But now that, most of the Velaryon fleet has been destroyed, Spice Town has been sacked, High Tide has been burned down. I don't think that's the case anymore.
Yeah.
But I'd see from a strategic perspective why that would. Lohar knows. I know there was definitely some spite there, but from a strategic perspective, I see how, doing that would basically rattle that whole fleet, and also maybe
It
even
worked.
cause some of them to peel off and try and go
It
save
worked.
what
She
they
just shouldn't have chased. Because her ship was the
Through
front
the-
one, which is
yeah.
going to do all the damage. So once her ship left, everyone she left behind essentially was fucked because all of a sudden they've lost the tip of the spear.
And that was
So to sack
Corlys's
was a
plan
good
too.
idea.
That was his own side
Yeah,
of
exactly.
the strategy. He was
Exactly.
like, okay,
And that
she's
was
going to
Corlys's
follow.
plan. So she played into it. It's like they
Yeah.
both played each other, like because they knew each other, which was pretty cool.
Alan was
I
a
like that
standout for sure.
I like that they showed Corlys's ability as a seaman.
Yeah,
You know,
I like that too.
Because that's something we've heard.
I was
we've
thinking
heard
of
so
Corlys
much
the
about,
cool rudder. Like
his
he knows exactly
famous
where
sailor.
these things are. Like
Yeah, exactly.
it's interesting. Like it's good that he knows his area, but also he has like that level of skill. And I think it's cool that his sons sort of take after him in terms of that honor and leadership. But I know you guys are saying like men and just people in general, they're like they have these few very base things that they kind of look to, that they aspire to. But I mean, come on, there's definitely a difference between an Ulf and an Adam.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I don't know what it was. I mean, hey, maybe in Spice Town they have home training, or in Hull they have home training. But
It'd be like say,
no, Adam had a brother. I think that's it. He wasn't alone. Ulf was probably alone. I think that was a
I
big
guess.
one.
I mean,
Adam's
stuff
brother
that
is
Ulf
good.
said he went through was very traumatic, and I do find it interesting that the show goes out of its way to bring a distraction before.
But I was going to say, Ulf also mentioned something interesting, which is that it was by a red priest.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, those guys throughout the story.
Is she alive now?
No, probably.
Probably. What the fuck?
Yeah, Lord of Light. Oh my God. Anyway.
Yeah, so we all accept that sheep stealer is a green though, right?
Sheep stealer is for sheep stealer. Sheep stealer will find Aegon walking in the woods and murk him. It's as simple as that. So
yeah, that's the only way sheep stealer can ever prove loyalty.
And come back
I swear the Greens will be like, yo, come to our side. You've done us so much good. We got you.
I find it very interesting as well that that Loha's flagship is called the Bitch Fist, which is just like, what?
Yeah, I love that name. I love that name.
Next time,
Bitch Fist,
Mr. Lannister will not blindly align himself with pirates. If there is a next time. Because, bro, what?
Next time?
Imagine him going all the way over there and literally they played him. She's like, yeah, I signed your contract so I could get Corlys. Like, I did not come here to win your king's war.
To help you.
Just the bold-faced...
She also told him, like, you should get all that armor off in case you fall in.
She was planning from the beginning because and then she pushes him. It's like, what? And then they push his guys as well. Those guys were definitely dead. And I guess it's interesting for them to have us actually visualize that because it's something that's been mentioned, throughout Game of Thrones as well. Like, with the Greyjoys and such, how many of them don't wear armor, and some do. Like, we talked about, for example, with Theon's uncle that we never actually meet in the show Game of Thrones, Victarion, who is always in full plate every single time. And I was thinking about that when I saw Thailand and the Lannister guys, right? Because we've never really seen somebody get into the water when they're wearing armor, but we see quite a few times in this episode, even with Alan and with Corlys. And when they show those guys sinking, I'm like, wait, this is serious. Like, I thought, like you'll be sinking, but you can still kind of fight your way up if you get things off quickly.
Nope.
But it's like, no, this stuff is heavy. Like, this stuff is actually very heavy. It's just pulling them down. They literally can't swim up before you can get anything off because armor usually, it requires more than one person to put it on, right? So you can't even take it off yourself. So you're
how did Alan take his
or
off?
I guess
he's just that guy. It's just that.
Plot armor.
Plot armor. Plot armor is easy to remove.
Lohar dying at the hands of Alan was interesting for sure. I think Alan did his best in this episode, and what do you guys think of his relationship with Corlys going forward?
You mean the father of the year? Oh, first of all, is Corlys alive? Do we even know that?
I guess we'll find out.
That's Corlys, one question, man. For sure. But assuming Corlys survives, do you think this brings them closer? Do you think because now it's like he has nothing left to bequeath to him? Though I guess Alan was never in it for riches and glory. He kind of just wanted to do
exactly. Because even in their talk in the ship, all he said was he wanted the name. Yeah. That's all he ever wanted. Is just his dad's acknowledgement that he's his son. And that's what he's really fighting for. He doesn't fight for riches or anything like that. It's all about getting that recognition. And I hope Corlys is around to give it to him.
I think Corlys is the type of guy to grant it after this.
Yeah. Yeah.
He needs to legitimize those boys, man. ASAP. But
he tried to last season. And that's what made Alan start yelling at him that, now you come to me after
he
your
was
son
trying
dies.
to offer him more responsibility and stuff like that. It's like, I want to make you this, make you that. And Alan was just like, what are you talking about, bro?
He needs to legitimize them, which should be easy. All Rhaenyra. Thanks to the folks in the comments from last season who confirmed and made sure we knew that only a queen or king can legitimize a bastard.
Yeah, so he's definitely going to ask Rhaenyra about this. And I guess that will also call into question Rhaenyra's legitimacy as a ruler, because it's like, okay, you're styling yourself as queen, but do you actually have that power? Nobody coronated you, right? So I'm curious to see how that conversation goes. I think as we kind of close here, one thing that's on my mind, thinking of just the aftermath of this battle. First of all, are we just wasting Queensguard members now?
That guy's gone. That guy's gone.
That guy gotta go, man.
He has to do
that guy gotta go, bro.
The episode is gonna start with him seppukuing.
He gas. That guy, man.
Because he's the biggest idiot of this episode. How do you
first of all, Jace doesn't command the king. You don't take orders from Jace.
Not only have you locked the queen, now the person that told you to lock the queen has died.
Bruh. Oh, Rastafa, man.
Even if
Rhaenyra doesn't kill him, Daemon will.
Me self, I'll kill him.
It's crazy.
Is he mad?
And because Jace was actually bugging throughout, bro. You remember when Jace was talking to Bela, he said, "Was this not our purpose?" And his eyes just became big. I was like, whoa,
he looked a bit.
Bro, you're crying. This guy
that dragon is a hell of a drug, man.
Bro, this guy looked like he had just done a line.
Rhaena and this dragon is a hell of a drug.
It's actually crazy to me how much Jace doesn't realize that what he has done here undermines his mother's authority. You think you're protecting 100%. Her, but you're just making her look weak. Imagine the embarrassment of being locked in your room.
Also maybe saved her life too. So
he saved her life, but
saved her life. No, 100%.
But it doesn't change the fact.
I maintain that I fully believe if she had gone, she would have been killed. This is not even.
100%.
Yeah, but Rhaenyra is constantly being undermined. Also, she's always been undermined by every single person. Her small council, her husband, her son, fucking Aegon, Alicent, everyone. So it's just unfortunate.
Yeah. But I have a question though. Where is Otto? Bro, we didn't see Otto throughout.
He's locked up. We saw him locked up somewhere.
Yeah, we saw him locked up.
He's locked up, but we don't know
who locked him up.
Who has him?
I guess we'll find out.
It could literally be anybody.
We know it's not Rhaenyra's guys though, right? Because
no, it's a green. It has to be a green that has him. A green or a neutral, but I don't think anyone's neutral.
Yeah, it has
But
to
why would
be.
the
It
Greens
has to
lock
be.
up Otto?
It may be a green that is like insurance. Is that, okay, my theory is, well, not theory, I have no idea who it is, but it's either a green who wants an insurance policy, a black who wants an insurance policy, or a neutral. But there's no neutral, so it has to be a green or a black who's shady.
He was on the road somewhere, right? So somebody would have captured
He was
him.
going to High
supposed
Garden.
be. He was
Okay.
supposed to be going back to High Garden.
Yeah, so he was going south.
High Garden to meet the
But
Tyrells,
also-
or he's going to Hightower.
Hightower.
Old Town.
Old Town.
Going
That's
to
what I'm saying.
Old Town,
We're going to Old Town. Yeah, he's
sorry.
going back home. Sorry.
Yeah, not High Garden. Thank you. Old Town.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
Old Town.
interesting. So would he have been
I
on the
mean-
way there that he would have been caught? But then most people are engaged in battle right now. But I guess some of the people in the Reach would not have been, but then the people in the Reach are loyal to them, though, right?
Again, that's why I'm like, it makes more sense to be a green who wants to like swap teams, you know?
Perhaps.
Yeah. Who wants an insurance policy? You know?
Like the insurance policy, just in case, you know? But I just don't know who it would be. I literally been thinking about that for a while. I cannot figure it out.
Okay.
Hopefully we find out
because like
soon.
they need to go through, okay, to get from the Crown Land to the Reach, they need to go through the Riverlands. So that's my way it then gets created from, because if you're going through the Riverlands, it's disputed, Harrenhal, all these kind of things. So it literally could be anybody. Well, we know it's not Rhaenyra, for sure. We know it's not Rhaenyra.
Yeah, we know
Well,
it's not Rhaenyra.
That's one thing we know for sure. And
yeah.
I guess, you know, the final thing I have in mind is, you know, as we talk about this Otto thing and where he may be, is something I'd like us to introduce for this season called the Adaptometer, which the patent pending. I'm working on that. So with the Adaptometer, we're going to decide how well the show is being adapted for television from the books based on specific important beats. So each episode, we're going to come up with about 4 or 5 of these points and see if the show did it beat for beat in a way that makes sense, or if they improved on it. So our main points for this episode would be how and why Jace gets into the Battle of the Gullet, Rhaena claiming sheep stealer,
The Red Fork.
okay, the Red Fork and
yeah.
the Greybeards showing up,
Incest Plus.
That's close.
right, Aemond's relationship with Alicent, and I guess
The lack of Aegon and Viserys.
Yes,
the lack
that's
of Aegon and
huge.
Viserys at the Gullet. So actually, let's start with that one. So for folks who don't know, in the book, right? Well, actually, in the show, Aegon and Viserys, Rhaenyra's youngest children that she has with Daemon, they are being escorted onto a ship that's supposed to take them to Pentos with their older sister, Rhaena, who essentially absconded to go dragon searching. We already talked about how it doesn't make sense that nobody seems to be looking for her, but in the book, that ship that they get on that's going to Pentos sails directly into this conflict that's happening in the Gullet. So as part of the process, Viserys, the younger one, gets captured by the Triarchy, and Aegon, the older one, gets on his storm cloud that Jane Arryn was insulted by, that it was too small. That dragon is basically the size of a horse. He holds on to it for dear life as it's getting bolted with arrows, and that dragon flies him all the way back to Dragonstone and dies essentially within the hour. Like, it just did not survive the trip. He basically, that was the first and last time he got on a dragon. He was traumatized by that. He never wanted to get on a dragon again, and he also never forgave himself for essentially abandoning his little brother. So that's a whole thing that's happened now, and I guess as far as the show is concerned, that didn't happen. So I'm wondering how that is going to affect, you know, the story going forward, when we're going to see those kids again, if they're being written in the same way. Like, is the show kind of continuing this trend of like removing certain children from the story because things are inconvenient? Like, we saw that with Blood and Cheese. So how is that going this time? So that's The first one. The second one that we mentioned, the other one we mentioned was how Jace got to the Battle of the Gullet. So in that particular scenario, we saw how it happened here. He's fighting with Rhaenyra. But how did it happen in the book?
I think in the book he just goes.
He sees that it's happening and goes. Rhaenyra is aware that
him
he's
and the
going.
Dragonseed all went.
And Rhaenyra isn't trying to go herself, right? He just goes with the Dragonseed.
No, she isn't trying to. No.
Yeah, so that's a
Rhaenyra of the books is a lot less self-sacrificial. Let's put it that way.
She is, and that's something that I'm actually going to be talking about as the season goes on, because I figured out what House of the Dragon's biggest problem is. But I guess let's do our adaptometer first. So for the Aegon and Viserys point, what do you guys think of that one? Does that get a plus or minus?
Minus.
I think that might be a minus. Yeah, because I don't know. I feel like that's one of those butterfly effect things that may come to bite us later.
Yeah.
So that's that one. And then for the Jace one, I actually will give that one a plus, because I think as far as television is concerned, it's better. So I think it creates a good amount of drama. I think it provides us a lot of stuff to sink our teeth into. So that's good. Next is Rhaena and the whole sheep stealer thing. I'm mixed on this one, so I'm gonna. I feel like for me, I'm kind of neutral, because I think the exclusion of Nettles could be an issue for the story, but I do like the fact that they brought another dragon into the Battle of the Gullet in a way that, you know, adds stakes for the story. However, in the books, you know, it's not like there weren't stakes, right? In the books, there were other dragons there. So it's basically like they've changed the Battle of the Gullet specifically for the show, because there are people who were there in the book that are not there here, and in this case, and of course, there's the whole sheep stealer of it all. So I guess Soonen, you'd be the tiebreaker. What do you think? Is that a plus or a minus?
I think it's
or neutral. It could be neutral.
I think it's neutral in this case, because although there was a change in terms of the story beats, it complicates things in a way that's intriguing.
Okay. Yeah. So right now, so far we're at 1.5 out of 3. So what's the next point? That was
Red Fork.
Which one? The Red Fork. Yes.
Red Fork.
So I think that
neutral.
one was a plus.
Yeah.
I think it did good stuff for the story. I think it's was adapted in a way that shows or reminds the audience of the brutality. And I think it does it in a way that's effective. Also, lion beheading, crazy. Absolutely crazy. Just insane. Like, that's one of the most random things. So yeah, I'm going to give that one a plus. And then finally, Aemond and Alicent.
Speaking of plus, incest plus.
Okay, so for that whole thing, I just have to ask why. Why have him kiss her?
That question you ask is why it's a down for me. That you captured it perfectly.
I'm just not sure what it adds.
Pourquoi?
I think it's just adds more characterization, and also kind of, you know, puts a bow around his mommy issues that we've seen from the beginning. This is like the height of it. So I wouldn't call it a minus. I would call it neutral. I wouldn't call it plus. Yeah, I'm neutral on it.
Okay, cool. So we have 2 neutrals. Neutrals is a half point.
No,
by the way.
Oh, you're neutral?
No, I mean like of our 5 points.
I see.
Of our 5 points. So we have 2 because it will take neutrals as a half mark. So 2 neutrals. We had 2 pluses and 1 minus, right? Yeah. So
I think
that essentially is, what is that? Yeah, that's 3 out of 5. So I guess
3 out of 5.
Overall
60%.
Overall, this episode gets a 60% on adaptation from us. I think that tracks. That's not bad. I think the Battle of the Gullet was compelling to watch. And you know, that's something that a lot of people are going to be, you know,
top 3 battles, in my opinion.
Yeah. yeah, I still honestly, as far as the world of the show is concerned, that's Trial of Seven is still
Oh, yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one. I
Trial of
forgot about
Seven
that
was
one.
something. Like that was
Yeah,
I've not seen anything like that.
definitely has something to look up to for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was excellent work from them in Night of the Seven Kingdoms, because it's like, okay, we don't have excessive dragon money, but we know how to choreograph a fight. So that was really well done. I definitely enjoyed that. Yeah, so with the Adaptometer at 60%, this definitely is a good episode as far as adaptation is concerned. I think it was a good one to watch too, and I think it was a great start to the season. This was explosive, so I think people are going to like this. I think people are already being floored by this episode. I think a lot of Jace fans who had no idea what was coming are going to be in serious tears.
Yeah.
Especially in the trailer, like you can hear him shouting Jacaerys, and it's like, okay, hype, but not really. So yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see. But I'm looking forward to seeing how the episodes stack up from here on. I think the show has something to prove now, because I mean, they always did. They did in season 1, then they came in season 2 and tried to build off of that. But I think they made a few missteps, and over the course of the season, we'll probably discuss the effects of those missteps and how they've changed the way the story is operating. But for now, we can definitely say we enjoyed this one, and I'm looking forward to what they do next. So thank you all for listening up until this point. This has been fun. Thank you, Afam and Soonen, for being here. And yeah, while you're around, please listen to everything else that we have covered. We've done a full season of The Boys, which is now done. We did season 5 of For All Mankind, and we're joined by Robert Bailey Jr. at the end. We covered Beef. We're talking about a whole bunch of other shows, and we have some interesting things coming down the pipeline. Word on the street is Christopher Nolan is releasing a movie, so we all have to be on high alert. So yeah, I guess with that, keep your children close.
Well, not too close.
Oh God, crazy. Absolutely crazy.